as most of the summer, there's loads of stuff coming out. Uh, Manga is kind of small here, but again, I don't really think that manga doesn't have a lot out this week. I think we have been cutting our orders and therefore aren't getting a lot of second volumes of things that we didn't move all of number one. We're not getting ongoing stuff. Comey Can't Communicate is out today, and I don't have any copies on the shelf because I got damaged copy and I had someone pull the copy who didn't want, but I was only getting 2 copies for the shelf. So I'll have it next week, but that's the level in which we are paring down. I actually made a gigantic order this FOC for single issues, but a lot of them are like way in the future, and a couple of the things on there were expensive big books. Hey, Mark. So yeah, it's an interesting week that I feel like it's a small week, but we have 24 books. I'm going to be putting out tons of new single issues tomorrow. But we have cut our ordering down so that our actual bills as they come in are kind of smaller. We just need good business, as I talked about in the very quick late one last night, where I hope you were asleep, dude, because it was almost midnight over here, Mark. This summer weather, the heat really makes people come out, but they don't necessarily want to go shopping. They're out having like a cold drink. Some people, when it's like a whole lunch party, they want to come in because it's air conditioned. But yeah, let's go look at all the new books. I don't know how much time we will have. I think it's going to be slow because it's the hottest part of the day. You never know with people. So first we got a new little golden book. A is for Alien. It's an alphabet book from the movie Aliens. A is for Alien. F is for Facehugger. Very cute. Our next Bluey picture book, Shadowlands, a great episode of Bluey where the kids play a game where the shadows are the islands and they have to jump from one to the other. I love, as I've said, the way they use the little word balloon style things. Really great design work going into these. Speaking of great design work, we've got a Batman to the Batcave. That's a Batman flip book that opens up and flips. Really fun stuff. It's got a whole bunch of different Batmobiles in it. It goes this way, that way. It's really fun. Sure, it will sell out pretty quickly. Speaking of fun, yeah, that alien book is a lot of fun, Mark. A brand new collection of Moomin strips. These collect both Tove Jansson and her brother. What's his name? Lars. That's what I thought. Lars Jansson strips, not in a particular order, but giving you some great storylines that I don't want to say vaguely connect, but they thematically connect one after the other, so that instead of reading a year of Moomin strips, which is how these often come out, you get a nice big chunk of just classic, hilarious Moomin. Haiku, the volleyball manga that has got a very popular anime, now has an omnibus series. So like I said, there's probably a whole bunch of other Viz stuff coming out today, but this is the only Viz we have right now, besides for Kirby. Kirby number 7. This is one of these fascinating books that I have no one subscribed to, but they always move off the shelf. I almost never have copies of these volumes. I get 4 or 5 of them at a time, and then within a month, they're gone. That's volume 7 of Kirby. The new I Am Jesse Owens, Brad Meltzer and Chris Alapis' wonderful series about ordinary people who change the world. We've got loads of these since we opened, and we always stock them. I was a little late getting this, so I put it out with this week's stuff. New Adventures of Encanto. This is a paper cut spin-off comic. Imagine like those old Disney cartoons that used to run in the 90s that were sequels from their movies. Not officially canon, but the events of the movie happened, and let's have fun. I love the art in this. Really great. Then again, from stuff that came out last week that we missed, we have Far Sector and All-Star Superman in the new DC compact size. I love this size, but only for certain books. We did not get this size. I actually, I'm going to do a whole post on my socials, on my Instagram and Facebook about this, but we did not get these books in this size, this little handheld version for Watchmen or The Court of Owls that came out 3 weeks ago, because I do not think this size is good for those books. It's a great price, but if you want a $10 copy of Watchmen, we give you one of the 3 copies we have in our used, and it will be $10. Court of Owls, similarly, we get it used a lot, but also the way the art is compacted in these compact editions, it's really not great for something that's very much about double-page spreads and things like that. Far Sector doesn't have a lot, All-Star Superman doesn't have a lot, and they're also very story-driven books. As much as you want to say that Watchmen is a story-driven graphic novel, what makes Watchmen Watchmen is the formalism of the page. What makes Watchmen Watchmen is the way you read it, both on the page and page to page. And that little format, to really get that, you have to, just like the Absolute edition of Watchmen, I don't really get. You have to crack the spine open and hold it down flat to read it. The All-Star and Far Sector are just great comics. Far Sector is one of my favorite murder mystery superhero comics ever. Maybe second only to the Elongated Man miniseries from the 90s. That's a murder mystery. But it's a fun little murder mystery. You just need to follow the cute dialogue, follow the characters. Jamal Engel's art is incredible, but it's mostly about what's happening on the page and not about the spread of the whole page. So I think those are really great books to grab for $10. Anyway, like I said, there's going to be a whole social media post about it. You can read that. Let's see what else we've got. Oh yes, we've got some really beautiful re-release of At the Mountain of Madness. This is the Go Tanabe adaptation of the Lovecraft. Really gorgeous hardcover, oversized edition. Our friend Tam Grinberg, Scumburbia, is a self-published book that we carry with us. Look at this little note he left me. I wanted to leave that on here. Sam, Scumburbia, now big complete collection. Grab that. Speaking of complete collections, we got Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. This is going to come out as a soft cover in a few months, but right now there's only a hardcover available. I didn't get a lot of them, but I wanted to give people a chance to grab it. Don Coppola, story all about Francis Ford Coppola's film career and how he sort of pushed his way through making some of these movies with sheer bravado. Really interesting look at the life of kind of a maverick who became a piece of the establishment. Second volume of Amy Chu and Sue Lee's Carmilla, The Last Vampire Hunter. It started off talking about the Carmilla story as told pre-Dracula, and now into 100 years after that, I believe. Flash, Strange Attractors. This is the new version of Flash by Mike Deodato Jr. and Simon Spurrier, in which the Speed Force goes bad. The Speed Force may have malicious intent towards Wally West, and we read that. It's fun. The Change is Whoopi Goldberg's new comic book about a woman going through menopause getting superpowers. Really just too crazy for me not to stock a little bit. I look forward to the Whoopi Goldberg movie that they eventually make of this. Like I really do. It's hilarious to me. But yeah, definitely a fun little grab. A what? So we needed to grab some of that. The latest Assassin's Creed graphic novel, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hidden Codex. Beautiful book out of, I think, Rome, actually, these creators. Umbrella Academy Youngblood, an Umbrella Academy novel. This is a novel that takes place in the world of Umbrella Academy. How crazy is that? Right? Who would have thought? Spider-Man Cosmic Chaos, the latest of the Mighty Marvel team-ups by Mike Mayhack for Abrams. Wonderful book, hilarious. I think the first two were really good and really fun kids' books. I think this one might be the best. It just really goes a little bit wackier than the others. And I think that really helps the silliness of the art pay off. But look at that. Look how beautiful Mike is. I love Mike. I constantly share his stuff online. Dungeon Club, Time to Party, the second volume of Molly Knox Ostertag and Xanath Baum's D&D, officially licensed D&D young adult series. We actually just sold out of the first volume of this because we restocked it to get people excited for volume 1 and sold out. But it's wonderful. Zeke and I both read it already. The first book was about this DM worrying about losing her friend because they invited someone new into the group. This is more about now that there are new people in the group, because the other people join, how can she keep herself creative? And how does she explain to people how important D&D is to her? So it's a really fun book, really beautiful. Definitely a great read. Braba, Brazilian comic anthology. This is a graphics release of all sorts of awesome comics out of Brazil. Look at this. This is the sort of thing that I'd buy 7 or 8 of if we had the sort of clientele actually in the store that we have on the internet. All the people on the internet go, "That looks so amazing, oh, I want to get that." If they actually shopped around here, we would have gotten tons of this. But yeah, it's beautiful. Thorn by Jeff Smith. This was the pre-Bone that Jeff Smith did. He started it in college. He stopped. He did it on his own to turn it into an ongoing strip. It's very similar to his early Bone work, but you can see how he's really trying to make it more of a comic strip, trying to end with a punchline every 4 panels. He doesn't yet have the dynamicism that he gets as he turns Bone into a regular ongoing comic. It's a wonderful read if you're a Bone fan. Lastly, but not leastly, The Nancy Show. This was an amazing show mounted at the Billy Ireland Museum. You see that? Billy Ireland. All about Bushmiller and Bushmiller's art and what makes Bushmiller's art. There was panels. They even put on a play that was written about Bushmiller years ago. And this collects some of the selected Nancys from the show as well as other people's art and discusses why Nancy's important and et cetera, et cetera. A great read if you're a fan of, again, the formalism of comics. So that's all the new single books. Again, that brings us to 24 books. Sorry, I'm just putting Sam's little note. Thanks for stalking. Where are we? Oop, I should turn this on. Sorry. Sam's little, I got all these little notes here behind the counter. So we can add Sam. Sorry, this is very awkward to do this way, but it's my little thank you encouragement board that I use to look at when I'm feeling down. Just, you know, when you run a small business all the time. But yeah. Tons of great new books. Let me know if you want any of them. If you're a hold list customer, you can just add them into the hold box. All great stuff. Plenty of books there that I would have loved to have ordered a lot more copies of, but we just didn't get enough orders. Another like 2 or 3 books that I actually ordered just for hold list customers, not out. Another probably 5 dozen, 6 dozen that came out today officially as graphic novels that we just didn't order. As always, if you want to get something from a comic shop, the most important thing you can do is pre-order or at least talk to them and let them know you have an interest, or otherwise they might not order it because there's just too much coming out. All right, until tomorrow when we look at all the new single issues, remember, damn it, babies, you got to be kind.